they have to use this kind of the method. They mostly use this type of the method in their novel, and this method is called the plain narrative. Plain એટલે સીધું વર્ણન. A character expresses narration, and this method is mostly used by, here you can read that they told most of the writers even that year what as a one of the method it was employed by each and every novelist in his literary work of, or any short story writer, and we can say that a prose writer can use this method mostly in his direct method, you can say epic method, or plain narrative. And there was at that time first highly used by the Henry Fielding and Charles Dickens in most of his novels, and first was used by the David Copperfield. David is a story of just like a Henry Fielding Joseph, and which is a story of a boy David. It's a story of a boy David Copperfield. And Herman Melville, you heard the name of it there, essayist, American writers, essayist and novelist, Herman Melville. And in paper nine American writer, you also heard that was one of the, you have to study it. Kamali sir taught you that one of the acquaintance in one of the, we can say, the book review of the Moby Dick. Moby Dick is a story of the Moby, and Dick is one of the white whale monster. It was a story of that. And also the Emily Brontë. You also studied the Emily Brontë, dear friend. Remember in the equator, his Wuthering Heights. In most of these stories, we have to find out the effective use of plain narrative method. What is in the plain narrative method? Just I have to, okay friends, in the plain narrative method, okay, I have to say about that. What is in the plain narrative method? Generally, plain narrative method, here the writer should be the omniscient observer. The writer should be the omniscient, and he has his other view, the God's eyes view. The novelist should have what? The novelist should have the God's eyes view. ભગવાનની આંખો ને કે ભાઈ કઈ હોય છે આપણે નથી કહેતા ઉપરવાળો બધું જોવે છે, ભાઈ ચિંતા ના કરો, ઉપરવાળો બધું જ જોવે છે. ઇટ ઇઝ કોલ્ડ ધ ગોડ્સ આઈઝ વ્યૂ or omniscient, સર્વવ્યાપી, omniscient observer એટલે નિરીક્ષક. God is the omniscient. In the same way, the narrator of the story, in the sense, novelist should be has the God's overview. He look at everything, you know about what happened next, everything you know about it. And here he sometimes use in the first person about the story. And you can also find out that Somerset Maugham also use this technique, a plain narrative, another story in that. Here we can say David relation with his uncle, Watterson's in Moby Dick, the narration of the white whales and how he can take the revenge of the person. And this is the story. And Somerset's number of the movie, the Wuthering Heights. Here we have to find out that here the plain narrative story, here the role of the narrator, or we can say the role of the novelist must be useful there. The novelist should have the God's eye view. He knows everything about that. And even there we can say the novelist should be the omniscient observer. Omniscient observer. And third one is, you remember, stream of consciousness method or technique. Stream of consciousness method, or we can say that technique. Just we have to look at that. James Joyce and Virginia Woolf, both are the master of this technique. James Joyce and Virginia Woolf are the master of this technique. Both are the master of these techniques. And here both are the master of this technique, because for further that we have to heard that, because these names are connected with that stream of consciousness technique, means stream prava conscious. You know about the writer of the, or you can say adopter of this techniques, they use, here you can say that they use the psychoanalytical method of Freud and Jung. Sigmund Freud, you have to heard the name Sigmund Freud and Jung. Sigmund Freud and Jung, these are the writer. They have to use this technique, stream of consciousness, because the Sigmund Freud and Jung both are the we can psychoanalytical, we can say the monovishleshak, and we know about the Sigmund Freud theory of conscious, subconscious and unconscious mind. You heard about it, conscious, subconscious and unconscious minds, and you know about, you can say that man's mind, the ideas was continuous going on, even that I close the eyes, even that the ideas were going on in the mind, even I have to keep silence, even that the idea is going on in the mind, and this idea going on in the mind, it is called the stream of consciousness. Even when we are the backup and idea, and this theory given by the Sigmund Freud and Jung, and this technique was used in the novel by the James Joyce in his novel Ulysses. We can discuss about the written the doubling, and we can say that. And second one is Virginia's Woolf, Mrs. Dalloway, and To the Lighthouse. William Faulkner, American writer, he can also use this technique. And we want, why should I not discuss about the story To the Lighthouse? We can say that in the story of the Ramses family, and each character what is thinking their mind when they visit the lighthouse. There in this story, the lifetime span of Ulysses is the story of the only 24 hours. To the Lighthouse is the story of the 1 or 2 days. There is, the time period of the story was very short, but the narration and the ideas going on in the mind of the even the Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. A Russian novelist Dostoevsky's novel, one of the Crime and Punishment. In this novel, their technique was in 1922 is a very key years in the English development of English novel. And this 1922, the novel of Virginia Woolf, To the Jacob's Room, To the Lighthouse, and other James Joyce Ulysses was published, and there. And in this novel, the first time we used the inner mind, what is going on in the inner mind of the character, because up to now we have to look at the outside of the character, but first time we know about that the inner mind, what is going on in the inner mind of the character, that was reflected in this technique, stream of consciousness technique. And here we can say that what is going on there, just like a traditional method, what is going on there, as so the novelist invite us to enter in the the reader to enter in the character stream of consciousness or character minds, and express the incessant shower of inevitable what is નાની બાબતો શું ચાલી રહ્યું છે in the mind of character, and we identify with through the psyche of the character. Up to now, before 1920, there was a planned narrative, series of letters, epic style, autobiographical or documentary method. Just we know about the outward behavior of the character. We are never enter in the psyche, what the character think about it. We never enter in the psyche of the character. But first time, Virginia Woolf, James Joyce, William Faulkner, they try to enter, they try to express the psychological ideology going on in the mind of the character. Any action happen, and the character, what we think about that, and that thinking is reflected in their novel. And this technique is called the stream of consciousness novel. In short, friends, we can say that in different method of narration employed by the novelist, and they are, we can say there are 3 important novelists, and here the novelist should be the omniscient, or omnipresent play the role of, and these three methods is called the series of letter or letter writing method, epistolary method or dialogue method, and then employed by the Richardson and Pamela Clarissa, Smollet, Humphrey Fair, and many other writers. The second is plain narrative, or we can say direct method, epic method. It is used by the Charles Dickens, Henry Fielding, Tom Jones, Maybe, Moby Dick, Emily Bronte, Wuthering Heights, and many a number of the writers, any direct or indirect, they use this method. And third is stream of consciousness method. It is psychoanalytical method or psychology. Stream of consciousness method is also called the psychological method. It is also called the psychology method, and therefore first time adopted employed by James Joyce in Ulysses, Virginia, to the lighthouse, and we can say the Missy Dolores. I think that you can easily understand the question, different method of narration. Okay friends, thank you, goodbye.